So it's nighttime. I am awake a little earlier because I went to sleep a little earlier, even though everything that I needed to do today after work this morning involved primarily not going to sleep. I went to sleep anyway. When I want to be awake, I'm asleep. When I want to be asleep, I'm awake. So I had to get up so that I could edit a poem, so I could turn that in for a class. And now I'm looking at my Goodreads to see things to mention. Looking for 5 stars. Wolf and White Van by John Darnielle. Darn French name. It's really, really good. This is the guy who is Mountain Goats, and he wrote a novel, and it's fantastic. Just so good, and I don't know what to say about it except for read it. It's very human and very damaged. Basically everything you would expect if you know the Mountain Goats music, and thought, what if the author of these songs wrote a novel? That's just what it is. As moving and brilliant and amazing and weird. And I loved it. I read Love in the Time of Cholera is 5 stars. That's no surprise to anybody. This one wasn't 5 stars, but I really enjoyed Destiny Disrupted, History of the World Through Islamic Eyes. It's really good. It is world history from the perspective of the Islamic world. And I already knew a lot of the early history of Islam, like when and where Muhammad did things, and like the first caliphs and stuff. I already knew those things, but I didn't know a whole lot about world history from an Islamic perspective during like the 20th century. And it is really clear how quickly America destroyed all the goodwill that was there coming from the Islamic world. Like initially, these Islamic states were like, man, America sounds like a great idea. And it does, and it is, but we just don't always do great things. We don't always come up to what America could be. But yeah, it really emphasized to me how it's not a separate world history, but it is rarely covered in our Western history courses, and it's a very important perspective. So I really enjoyed that one. What else is there? Going back a little further, The Sign of Jonas by Thomas Merton is a collection of journals. I think it starts shortly after the publication of, or shortly before the publication of Seven Story Mountain, and it goes until a year or two later, maybe more. But it's very interesting. You see Merton's transformation into this quasi-Buddhist thing that he came to toward the end of his life. And he does just amazing poetic things toward the last part, where he tells stories that are obviously intensely important and presumably factually true, and you know that there's meaning there because of how he phrases things, but he never tells you what anything means. There's a portion about his new job that he's given on the monastery where he's selecting trees to be chopped down for lumber, and it's It's fantastic. You should read The Sign of Jonas. I think the beginning's a little bit difficult to get through, maybe, but it's really good. What else? The Martian by Andy Weir is going to be a separate video. It's something that I should have done a long time ago. But read The Martian. Super good. But now I have to get ready for work. So I'm actually going to edit and upload this tomorrow. But I did record it today. So I'm coming through on my bargain. Yeah, go me.